All right, time for an instant reaction. Well, I had picked the Broncos to win tonight, so I finished my blazing five with 2 wins, Cowboys, Broncos, a push, Lions, and a couple of losses. Commanders and the Jaguars got overwhelmed. I think what you're seeing with Denver is a really well-coached team. Sean Payton was asked to fix Russell. He has. I mean, Russell tonight, 24 of 29, couple of touchdowns, multiple laterals, couple of huge long drives late in the game. You got to give Russell Wilson credit for that. They don't have a star receiver. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Mims, no stars. Tight ends, okay, no stars. Couple of nice running backs. Williams, I think, is a good young running back off an injury. No stars. P. Ryan, good backup. There's no real stars on the offense. And Russell Wilson's probably about 75 to 80% of what he was. Doesn't quite have the speed, the twitchiness, or the juice, but he still makes really good decisions. He doesn't make a lot of big mistakes. He plays with it himself. Sean Payton has centered the ship. He was asked to fix Russell Wilson. He has. I think this is about what Russell Wilson is. Now, if they had an elite deep threat, I think Jerry Jeudy's always been disappointing, very fast. The O-line's not great, so Russell's not going to have, very rarely, a lot of time to throw. Tonight, he had a 19-yard completion to Jerry Jeudy. On that play, he had great protection. By and large, though, Russell is getting the ball out very quickly because it's not a great offensive line. McGlinchey's been kind of not a bust, but he's been an suboptimal acquisition at right tackle. So, but I mean, Russell Wilson had 36, 37 minutes time of possession. Sean Payton has fixed Russell Wilson to the level he can be fixed relative to what he has to work with. The defense, it was a mess early. They moved off a couple of older players, one Randy Gregory. They're playing younger players. It's not a great unit, but they keep things in front of them. Don't let cheap touchdowns over the top. They don't make a ton of mistakes. They had a lot of penalties tonight, but not a lot of turnovers. Buffalo was a mess meanwhile. And so I think Payton was in charge of fix the culture, fix the quarterback, get the roster as right as you possibly can. And I think he's done it. I mean, the Chargers are 4-5. The Broncos are 4-5. What did Brandon Staley have to fix? Right? What did he have to fix? So Sean Payton comes in, and it takes a while. It took him 5-6 weeks to get it right. But I think Denver's as good as they can possibly be, and that's why I liked him tonight. They kind of know what they are. They keep things in front of them. They dominate time of possession. Buffalo, on the other hand, I wrote this down just in the first half. Fumble, interception, 3 drops, no run game, and Buffalo trailed 12-8 at half at home. They were just not prepared to play. So I look at a Buffalo team that has a superstar quarterback, a really star wide receiver, a couple of star defensive linemen, and at home felt like they were, let's be honest. There's an old saying, you lose more games than you win in the NFL. Buffalo lost that thing tonight. Who was the quarterback last couple of drives? Didn't make any mistakes. Kept picking up third downs. Russell Wilson was 8 for 19 on the road, third down against the defensive coach, Sean McDermott. Good defensive front, pretty good. So, if you want to know what coaching looks like, it's not just the coaches that get to the playoffs. Denver, Sean Payton was asked to fix the coaching staff, fix Russell Wilson, fix the culture, and in the middle of a season, fix the defense. He's done all 4. Denver, relative to their talent, is okay. They're an okay football team. They've beaten Kansas City and they've beaten Buffalo in the last 2 weeks. That's pretty good. I don't know what to do with the Bills. Josh Allen has led the NFL, I believe, in interceptions. I think I saw that Nick Wright tweet, right? Every year since he's been in the league. I just think they peaked. I still no run game, still lots of turnovers. I don't think Ken Dorsey is lost or over his head. I just don't think he's a creative. I think, 5% of this country is great. Brian Daboll as an offensive coordinator was great. And Josh Allen was turnover prone and talented in college. and he's turnover prone and really talented in the NFL. And for a very short period with a great and elite top 5% coordinator and Brian Daboll, he cleaned it up a little bit. Brian Daboll leaves. Sean McDermott, he doesn't know the offensive side of the ball. They still don't have a run game all these years later, not a consistent one. And so, this is a classic example tonight of you lose more games than you win. Denver just didn't lose it. Third downs, move the clock, low turnovers, don't give up anything cheap over the top, and Buffalo lost it. It's not a knock on Denver. They don't have a lot of stars. I mean, Surtain obviously is their corner's their best player. This roster is okay. They've fixed it about as much as you possibly can. They don't have a second round pick next year. They have a first, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and I believe a seventh. I could see them moving off like a Cortland Sutton to try to get like a third or a fourth round pick. They're not going to have a ton of space in free agency because Russell Wilson's contract kicks in. But basically tonight, I saw a coach that has fixed 3 or 4 things with the Denver Broncos that avoided losing the game, and a Buffalo team at home with a star quarterback that had multiple opportunities, but just kept giving the W to Denver. And eventually Denver took it. I didn't know if they were going to with about 6-7 minutes left, but eventually Denver took that W that Buffalo was handing them for 3.5 hours. So fun. I mean, ugly, but after this weekend, you take it. In the NBA, the games can change in an instant, but no matter how the action unfolds, you know that DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered. This week, new customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets by just betting $5 on basketball. How good of a deal is that from DraftKings Sportsbook? Win or lose, you get the instant W. Instant. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Please use the code Colin, COLIN. New customers, $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5. The code is Colin, COLIN, only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app, code Colin. The crown is yours. For a limited time, Verizon customers can get Netflix and NFL Plus for just $25 a month. It's called Plus Play. That's $120 in annual savings. Plus Play is a platform where Verizon customers can shop, manage, and save on the subscriptions that you already love, right? Like Netflix and NFL Plus. With NFL Plus Premium, you get access to live games on mobile, my fave, NFL Red Zone, NFL Network, and more. Just go to Verizon.com/plusplay. Verizon.com/plusplay to save on Netflix and NFL Plus today for a limited time only now. Limited time only. So I watched Jim Harbaugh, and I think he's trolling. I think he had sort of a smile when he said it. But he said Michigan is now America's team because they're having to overcome. And I think at this point, Jim Harbaugh is simply trolling people and trolling college football. And I'm here for it. I think sports is fun. I think coaches spit out cliche after cliche. I put very few coaches on the air. They're boring. They're unbelievably boring. And Jim Harbaugh is becoming a troll. And I think it's a riot. So many people really believe Ohio State is absolutely sure that the only reason Michigan has beaten them the last 2 years is because of sign stealing. They really believe that. They don't think it's that, they've got a really good quarterback now, J.J. McCarthy. They're going to have 19 players drafted in the NFL, which is an insane number for any team, but especially a Big Ten team. That's usually like SEC territory. I don't think the sign stealing is the reason Michigan is clobbering everybody. I think Michigan's got more good players. And anytime, as I've said before, Jim Harbaugh gets a great college or pro quarterback, Colin Kaepernick for a couple of years was a really good NFL quarterback. Didn't last very long, but he was. He was certainly unique, new, and difficult to defend until people started kind of figuring him out. But it's just really interesting with Harbaugh. I don't think I've ever seen a coach do this. Usually coaches get very angry and they get very defensive when the punishment comes down. I've never seen a coach in all my years of being a broadcaster trolling the media and trolling his conference and trolling college football. I mean, college coaches, Woody Hayes to Nick Saban, Lou Holtz, they get angry. They'll grab a ref, they'll grab a player, they want to yell, be a man. I'm 40. Was that Mike Gundy? I mean, nobody gets angrier than college basketball or football coach when threatened, when they don't get their way, when they're punished. Harbaugh's trolling all of us. And I am completely here for it. I think he's got that sort of deadpan, sly smile. He knows what he's doing. He's a psychologist. And most great coaches, Bill Parcells was a great psychologist. Jimmy Johnson was a great psychologist. Bill Walsh was a great psychologist and a football coach. So I don't think Jim Harbaugh, is completely innocent. I don't think this is the crime of the century. But what he's doing is unprecedented. Think about the Patinos and the Caliparis. Think about all these college coaches. Anytime they get in trouble, they get defiant and defensive. Jim Harbaugh is so 2023. He's trolling. I think it's just great. I find it incredibly likable and unique and different. And that sums up Jim Harbaugh to a T.